Hey guys, welcome to my channel. This is our living room after Christmas. I took down the Christmas village and all of these books and a few little things were left. Some of Quinn's Christmas presents and things are just strewn about. So it's time for a refresh and I wanted to kind of show you my process, hoping that it will inspire and help you when you tackle your bookcases or floating shelves, whatever it may be. I like to start my styling with a clean slate, and it's a great time to get the shelving completely dusted, nice and clean. Okay, next step is I like to shop my home. I have all my decor in my studio, and so I grab pieces and I place some on the left, some on the right, and it kind of helps me to visually balance what I have and where it's going to go. I don't want to put all the bowls on one side. I want to divide them up. So I start with one side. Some people go back and forth, but I like to start with my largest pieces. And I usually like to put heavy, weighty objects towards the bottom. Now, I like to I like to balance my color and my material, but I don't want to just go left, right, left, right. So on my middle shelf, I'm placing something in the middle, and I kind of have an idea of where I want to put books and a couple other little treasures. But if you start with your like items, like I'm using planters, pots, ceramics, vases, things like that, and all of mine are a white or off-white, and some are shiny, some are matte, but I like that to be kind of my foundation. Those are the pieces that are going to pop, and you're going to see that consistency in it. Now my next step is placing some artwork. Now I get my artwork from Hobby Lobby, Target, Walmart. I don't spend a lot of money on the framed pieces because my style changes. I like to refresh things, and so I don't buy super expensive frames. Now I like putting the frames on easels. I feel like it adds some depth when they don't have to be leaned against the wall. These easels were super cheap. I got the black ones from Hobby Lobby and I got the brass ones from Amazon. And you can shop my Amazon storefront. The link will be in the description if you are interested in some of these pieces that I get from Amazon. So on this side, I'm just using 2 landscape prints. And on the left side, you'll see that I use 3. So I'm not doing everything perfectly balanced, perfectly equal. Instead, I'm trying to just move around color and shape. And so my final step is adding in books. Now, when I removed the books, when I cleared the shelves at the very beginning, I was sorting the books. I was placing all my vintage books in one pile. I was placing kind of my decorating coffee table books in a separate pile. My paperbacks are going to be placed in a cabinet because I don't want those out, and so that way I can use the pretty books, the ones with the aged pages that I like, and it just makes it easier when I'm pulling the books off the shelf to kind of sort them at that time. Now for this bottom shelf, I decided to make it kind of heavy. I have a large oversized basket at the bottom of each built-in side. And so I want that base cabinet to kind of be like a standard foundation piece. And so I loaded it more with books and then used books on a couple shelves throughout. So here I am on the left side, starting with my largest bowls. And I'm going to keep glancing to the right because I don't want to do a mirror image, but I want it to be balanced. I want it to feel cohesive. And I also want it I don't want one side to look heavier than the other. I don't want one side to have more objects and more items. And I kind of took care of that in the very beginning when I divided up my stuff. But I still like to kind of use some like items, have like shapes, colors, and sizes. If I don't have a bowl, I'll use 2 smaller pieces, put them together because that will create a larger visual of the color and the items. Now my very top shelf, I'm using a brass tray on the left, and on the right side I used a wooden bowl type tray. So again, similar items, similar shapes, but different materials, because I'm not going for a perfectly symmetrical styled look. And here I am placing my prints. I have 3, like I mentioned before, and I'm kind of spacing them out. Now, I like to live with my shelf styling for about a week or so, and every time I walk by, I see if something catches my eye, and then I will make little tweaks and changes as I go. And so, just so you know, nobody gets it perfect the first time. Everything's a starting point, and if something bugs you, just change it. This isn't forever. I'm going to restyle these shelves probably next month, so just have fun with it and kind of be inspired by things you already have, or if you happen to buy a new piece of decor, you can add that in and see how it can refresh the whole look of all your shelves. So here I am adding heavier books to the bottom shelf, and then taking little books where I feel like maybe a shelf needs a little more weight, a little more texture, color, and glancing to the right, always making sure that things are looking balanced and not matching, but a coordinated approach to the. So whenever I'm refreshing or styling my shelves, I also will give the mantle a little refresher too, at least to dust it and clean it. And when I was doing the mantle, I incorporated this willow basket that I got at a vintage shop, and I thought, that vintage basket is super cute. And so I went ahead and just added it to that left side shelf right there with my 2 prints, because I didn't want just one basket. I wanted to kind of incorporate it to have it flow a little better with the whole vignette. And if you are interested in how I did these floating shelves, I will link to the video. These shelves just about killed me because walls on new house builds are very uneven and not square. And so I'm pretty proud of these shelves. They were a trial, to be sure. So our mantle is not too deep. It's maybe 7.5 inches deep, but I can still fit a few plants and books and also keep the eye line open for our frame TV. And I love getting frame TV art from Etsy. It's super affordable and beautiful, and it's perfectly sized for the frame TV. So I absolutely recommend Etsy. Now this SETI, it was a really bright chartreuse green, and I dyed it. So I will link the video to how to dye furniture in the description again. And once I kind of had the whole room cleaned up, refreshed, I was feeling pretty good about it. And then I realized I still have the dark Christmas curtains, which are beautiful. I love them, but I wanted to brighten things up, and I want to get out of the habit of changing curtains. It's really hard on the hardware pulling out from the sheetrock. So I thought, I'm going to invest in some pinch pleat curtains. They are from Amazon. They're semi-custom. They just happen to have the length that I need, and they are super affordable. I highly recommend these, you guys. The process is very simple. You get your measurements, you order, and then it comes with the hooks that you slide into the header rail, or there are also hoops that you can just slide directly onto your curtain rod. And once the hooks are in, you can just go ahead and add the rings. Now, these curtains came with black rings, but my hardware is brass, so I just purchased some brass rings from Amazon so it would match, and that was it. Super simple, really easy to install. So curtains are a great way to refresh the look of a whole room. During Christmas, I liked having the warmer tones. I had some darker items in the room, for Christmas, and as well as with the Christmas tree. But with the dreary winter days, I really like to have kind of that off-white curtain to kind of keep things nice and bright. This is our most used room in the home, and it's the brightest with the largest windows, and so I like to keep the curtains kind of out of the way. These are light filtering, but they also make blackout. I don't know how well the blackout work because I don't have any, but these looked really great once they were up. They kept their shape with the pinch pleat look, and the hooks are adjustable. You can just slide the hook down, and then when you bring it back up to the top, you can adjust it to which little niche you want it to fit in. So it's a little bit adjustable if you don't get your measurement just right. So adding a few more touches, and here is the space. Here's the after with the refresh after Christmas. I love the beautiful linen curtain look and just simple touches like neutral tones, kind of the warm tones with the books and baskets, and even as you can see, the pottery gives it kind of a cozy feel even though it's white. I'm just really happy with the way this refresh turned out, and ultimately I hope you feel inspired or energized, or at least have some direction for how you will approach your shelf styling when you want to do a refresh. So thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe and let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks so much.